It's January 22nd, 2021, Friday, and everybody's looking forward to the weekend. This is the Wrestling Inc. podcast. I'm Glenn Rubenstein, joined by Matt Morgan. Matt, on video, after our epic post-show, the after show, as it were, on Monday, doing audio on stereo, we are back on the OG Wrestling Inc. podcast to talk about SmackDown.
We are, and I want to thank our listeners from this podcast that jumped over to listen/watch our emojis. Over there after on Monday night and participate and ask all the questions you guys wanted to ask. You asked some really good ones, and it's hilarious as hell, guys. If you haven't given it a chance, give it a chance. There's generally about 500 of you guys that come on for SmackDown, sometimes more. You know, you'd be doing us a huge solid by coming on, but more importantly, we're gonna give you different kind of content. Yes, we talk wrestling, but we talk everything on there. Like I said, it's no holds barred, and we talk literally about anything that you all bring up. Like nothing's off limits. So, you know, as a politician, that's career suicide for the record.
Well, it's cool. And Stereo is now going to be a sponsor of the Wrestling Inc. podcast, so we want to welcome them on board. But hey, if you want to check out the after show Matt and I did on Monday, go to bit.ly/aftershow118. You can listen. That'll take you to the Stereo app. You can listen to Matt and I, and we answer questions from the audience in audio. So we're going to do it again this upcoming Monday, January 25th. For the foreseeable future, we're going to do it every Monday after the Wrestling Inc. podcast. And again, appreciate you all coming out. You made us look good. Stereo's on board to sponsor the Wrestling Inc. podcast now. I think this is going to be good, and we couldn't make this happen without y'all. So thank you so much for coming out, participating, and supporting us tonight on SmackDown. Man, this was an interesting show tonight. So we opened with more of Roman Reigns, Paul Heyman, Roman addressing Kevin Owens, addressing Adam Pearce. The thought I have with this is, do you think Reigns needs a more elevated adversary? I feel like this is just a layup against Pearce.
Against what? Who'd you say?
Against Adam Pearce, even against KO. And I love KO, but I'm sorry.
I thought you said Colonel De Beers.
Colonel De Beers. Yes.
I'd say, yeah. No, yes, of course he needs upgrade's not even the word. It's but I yes, I know what you're saying. Yes, and yes.
Yes, Kevin Owens is starting to look like the Washington Generals here going against Roman, and it's not doing a service to Roman. You can't have someone that's this on fire. Maybe it's a testament to WWE and how they're not building enough megastars right now. I mean, Daniel Bryan maybe is someone that could hang. Randy Orton maybe, but they need somebody really on his level to take him to that next level.
I mean, no offense, Glenn. They don't even need someone on his level to make this better, or like what it was. It's the best. It's been the best angle, in my opinion, in wrestling. One of them, if not the. But so it deserves to be treated as such, and it feels like they're just like, this ain't the time to go in neutral, WWE.
Yeah,
you know what are you doing?
Randy Orton would have been the next step. I think Randy. I know they got plans with him and Bray.
That would have been good.
Yeah, but that's the thing. Bray Wyatt can battle anyone. Bray's shtick doesn't need a worthy opponent. Bray can just dance circles around anyone, and he can make it interesting. I think Randy versus Roman would be good. I mean, obviously, if they do bring back The Rock at some point to face Roman, that will be epic. But with KO, I mean, I don't. No one believes he's winning. That's what I want. I want an opponent where you think maybe there's a chance, there's an angle, something could happen.
You're right. You're right.
Seth, maybe. Seth comes back, combo breaker.
He'd be great. Anybody would be great except for Adam Pearce.
Yeah, that's where he's like bootleg Kurt Angle. Like, no offense to either of those gentlemen, but you know what I mean? Like,
yeah, I do.
And so Sonya Deville now looks like is going to be in a GM role on the show. I'm curious to see how that plays out.
What? Yeah, she needs to be wrestling.
For some reason, they think this is where they can use her the best. But Matt, given where the women's division is right now, and given that you have Bianca and Bayley, you have Sasha.
You know what? That's as soon as I said that, I'm not gonna lie, and I hate to put myself over. I'm not trying to put myself over, but when I first got to TNA, what helped me the most was not being put in a wrestling format role. I was Cornette's bodyguard.
Yeah.
And so what we did was when we'd have it booked, so Jimmy missed the show, right? His flight didn't come in, and therefore Matt Morgan would have to be the GM of the show. And I improved a lot on the mic with that opportunity, and the fans got to know me better versus the stuttering character I just left so long ago with WWE. And slowly but surely, people were like, all right, this big dude can talk a little. And then from there, I got more and more confident, and it helped me a lot. So by the time it was time for me to wrestle, a year went by of me doing nothing but cut promos almost weekly on Impact. And it made sense. I was wearing a suit the whole time, and it just made sense that you hide my strengths and make me improve my weaknesses to a degree. And it worked. So it got me TV time, more importantly, got people to get to know me, more importantly. So for as soon as I said that, I was like thinking to myself, but she will get on TV every week. She will be in a speaker role, an authoritarian role as well. That's good. People are going to be chomping at the bit to eventually want to see her wrestle even more than they do right now. And that's a good thing.
No, I agree. And I got to shout this out. I just saw this on Twitter on Natty, fan of our podcast, tweeted about this. I know she's in the chat room as well. They just had the first women's match on 205 Live tonight for the Dusty Classic. The women tonight, Priscilla Kelly and Cora Jade taking on Candice LeRae and Indy Hartwell.
So on 205 Live, which is a cruiserweight show, they just inserted a women's tag.
They just had a women's tag match. You know, I think this is how they backdoor their way into doing a women's show. And if I'm 205 Live, I'm thinking, man, a women's show would really, really get a lot more attention. So what I'd say, if you know, let me put this out to the fans. If you want to see the women get their own show, you want to see the women more on 205 Live, well, go watch 205 Live this week. If they see it pop their rating having a women's match on there with the NXT women's talent.
But come on, Glenn, how many times do they have to pop a rating? They already have.
Yeah, but it's 205 Live, man. It's 205 Live.
But like from Sasha and Bailey, though, on SmackDown, they still popped the biggest rating. And they've done it time and time again, Glenn. So, like, I don't know what else they need to hear. And the only time WWE has sold when it comes to the women and the fans getting pissed off and wanting to see more was when it was Give Divas a Chance. For whatever reason, guys, that shit works. Put pressure on them on social media, write Stephanie McMahon like crazy, write Triple H like crazy, write Vince McMahon like crazy, and say, give divas their own show. Hashtag give the females their own show. Yeah.
Well, here's the reason why I think this is low-hanging fruit, as it were, is that 205 Live is expendable. 205 Live, if they think, like, Matt, more people probably watch this podcast than watch 205 Live on a regular basis. So if they see that the women can get some eyes on that, they're thinking, no offense to cruiserweights, but we've got something people want to see.
Can I tell you what I don't want? Them bastardizing the women by only having maybe 2 women's matches. It worked out really good. They popped the rating on 205. Let's have the girls wrestle again on 205. No, motherfucker, get rid of 205. Call it the women's wrestling show.
Yeah.
From top to bottom, though.
Yeah. No,
do you know what I mean?
I think that would be huge. I think that would.
And what are they holding back on a pay-per-view for? That was incredibly successful.
Some people are set in their ways, Matt. James and Becky, $10 super chat. Raj Giri, thanks you. We thank you. Hey guys, just heard on WINC that USA is going to air NHL on Wednesday nights now that MSNBC Sports Network is shutting down.
Why?
Looks like WWE it's their way out of the Wednesday Night Wars and moving NXT to Tuesday now. What are your thoughts? I have not seen that article, but yes.
Good. I think that's great. I think that's great for both companies, especially NXT, because they lose a lot of viewers to AEW. And I'm sorry, but NXT does a good job. They've got great talent. And it sucks because a lot of them don't get seen because we're making a lot of them. If I had the choice, I'd be making the decision to watch AEW instead. Now it's a clean slate. They get to be seen on a Tuesday night with no comp. So for Impact.
Yeah. Doesn't that feel, though, kind of like, well, I couldn't beat up this guy, so I found this weaker opponent to go against. Make myself look a little better.
I would still pick Impact if Kenny Omega and them come on it.
Yeah. I don't know, though, man. NXT.
Just for that segment.
Pretty good. So this set up later in the night, it was going to be Adam Pearce versus Paul Heyman. But lest you think that was actually going to happen, there was a swerve. Sami Zayn camped out and protested tonight. Oh, this was so good. So good. His sign, not my Intercontinental Champion, interactions he had. It was so good.
He's brilliant. He's brilliant. And I shouldn't even say brilliant because he's probably just being who he really is. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. Like, it's probably effortless to a degree for him. And I'm not taking anything away from him. I'm just saying this is when you know a character's really in their groove, right? Yeah. When they're that extension of themselves. This feels like this would be an extension of him. This is hilarious.
I think he stole the show tonight. And the Roman stuff was good, but the Sami stuff was entertaining as hell.
Yeah. Yeah. I died. Seriously, I died laughing.
Yeah, and that's the thing. It's like Roman, like, sort of backhandedly calling Adam Pearce like the P word. Like, I feel like we kind of seen some of this before.
Yeah.
I want new stuff. I just want it to be fresh. I don't want to. Roman shouldn't be out there doing the greatest hits. That's when it's going to get old.
I know.
Natalie wanted to know with her super chat, should women show be all brands or just Raw and SmackDown? Good to hear you guys live. Keep doing your thing. I think it should be all brands.
Ooh, so I think they're so stacked. I'm not saying this to kiss ass. I'm being honest. I think they're so stacked. One show, if you want to put all brands on there, Glenn, ain't enough.
Yeah.
Think about it. There'd be a lot of women that get left off.
Sure.
That are good and shouldn't be left off.
But there's so, like, you could do a match. You could say, like, hey, we're going to have Mercedes Martinez wrestle Natalia. People are like, what the hell's up with that? But, like, you'd watch it. You'd be like, this is the first time ever, only time. You could do, like, crazy one-offs. You could carry feuds and stories. You could have so much happen on that show.
That's a great question. In my head, it's always been all the NXT women's talents could pull off their own show. That's my opinion. Yeah. With some of the top stars, but I only say that because I don't think there'd be enough room for all the females. But that's something to think about. It's a great question.
Yeah,
that's how stacked they are. What a great problem to have.
I know, and I just feel like this could be the best show in all of WWE if they did it right.
Far. Seriously. By far. They're written better for whatever rhyme or reason. Whoever's writing for the women they need to be using on all their storylines. Yeah. Seriously, because their stuff is good. It's not just because they're good in the ring, because that's a huge component of it. But like, they're all different. They're all individual. They're all very concisely different characters. You know every single one of them when they come out, who they are, what they're about within the first 15 seconds. That's what a wrestler's supposed to be. You're supposed to know who we are, what we're about when we're walking out during our entrance. Before we say a word, you should get it. Am I a good guy or am I a bad guy? And then from there, what kind of bad guy or a good guy are we? You're supposed to get a lot of that from the entrance. I will argue, watch the NXT women and tell me you don't get that.
Yeah.
You do.
Yeah, and this match tonight, Asuka and Charlotte Flair versus the Riot Squad with Billie Kay was entertaining as hell.
It was, and we get on the Billie Kay storyline, but I thought nothing for nothing. She did pretty good tonight with her parts, I should say.
So earlier, Matt, I was testing out doing a watch along on stereo with NYC Demon Diva, and she was talking about how much Billie Kay is coming to her own now since she split from Peyton Royce. And I'm starting to see it. I think that it was a mistake to make Billie look so thirsty backstage all those weeks. Yes. But now I like that they can rotate her with different factions and teams. She's doing a little more of a comedic thing. So tonight she did I ref and cause the Riot Squad to lose, which was good. I hope that I could see them putting her with a partner and getting in a feud with the Riot Squad. Maybe they bring over Peyton to help her out and have her back, and that's like
they just should. They just should. No offense to Peyton. She's from here locally. She's very talented, but it ain't working for her. It ain't her fault. They haven't written anything for her as a singles act that has stuck. Right? Yeah. She's just the other. She's the other talent in the ring, usually in these 6-woman tags or normal tag matches. It's like, if you're going to do that, why would you break her up from her sister? Because those two are like sisters.
Yeah, they were the Laverne and Shirley of professional wrestling.
Like a legit tag.
No, I agree. And Now, I think with what Lacey is doing with Ric Flair, I don't think there's a reason for Peyton to be
No, there's not.
solo. Just
So let's
move her
hope
back
that they
to
do
Philly.
that. Let's hope
Yeah.
they put her back with her. It'd be great.
And a feud with them and the Riot Squad could be solid.
That could
but
be very good.
I worry they're not going to give it enough time, though. That's where a women's show would come in handy, is they could, that feud could be the centerpiece of a women's show.
That easily could be, yeah.
Yeah. So, of course, Billy was apologizing to the Riot Squad after. Looks like she might be out of the Riot Squad. What did you think of Daniel Bryan's promo he cuts down about the Royal Rumble?
Your volume went down a little bit. I'm sorry.
Oh, Daniel Bryan's promo about the Royal Rumble tonight?
Good. Very good.
Yeah. A lot of people think he could win it.
And then he would what? Take on Roman?
I think that's a logical feud. That's the WrestleMania main event.
It is. It is. I just get so frustrated with how they've booked him up until recently.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know what I mean? He's Daniel freaking Bryan. Do you guys remember when he was coming, when we first got the news? I think Raj texted me and I almost drove off the freaking road because AJ was coming into his own. I think AJ was about to be champion maybe around that time.
Yeah.
And you guys dude, Daniel Bryan just got the okay to come back. And I was like, finally, I'm going to see my dream match. AJ Styles versus Daniel Bryan. This is awesome. And while they had a great series, they did not treat Daniel Bryan like they used to treat Daniel Bryan.
Yeah, it's been a bit different, but he wants to put younger talents over. He's there more to be a utility player rather than a star.
Yes, but he's also incredibly smart enough to realize his value is more valuable to put over that younger star the more he is built before he does it again.
Let me ask you this, Matt. If you were to come back, and I know you have no plans, of course, around Rumble season, everyone loves to speculate Matt Morgan might be coming back. Every time you miss a podcast, that's what people think. He's off training somewhere, getting ready for the Rumble. But if you were to come back, now that you're an older, more mature talent, would it be that I want to come back and I want to be the headliner, talent, main event mania, or I want to be a solid worker, put over younger guys, collect a check, make a nice living, and just enjoy myself?
If I was smaller physically,
yeah,
the second choice would be it for me. I don't get that. I don't get that choice. You can't be. That's why you don't see much of Braun Strowman right now. You can't be a mid-card act as a big guy. It doesn't work. And that's why big guys don't last when they're not booked as headline acts or main eventers or toward the main event. I couldn't do that. I couldn't keep up with that schedule.
Yeah.
My body, there's no way. But mainly, obviously, I would never have any desire to come back to wrestle. But that's a great question. I know what you're getting at.
Yeah.
You think about your family, putting food on the table for your family consistently, right, with a great paycheck. But I'm weird, man. I'm so OCD about wanting to be the best at everything. Cliche as that sounds, from anything I do, I've got to win or at least die trying. So, I wouldn't be okay with them saying, hey, look, you're coming back, but, you're going to be wrestling second on the night. Nope. No, thank you.
Yeah. Could you imagine if you'd gone back in 2014, how potentially frustrated you could have been given the way that things have played out since then? I mean, do you think about, what spot you would have been in looking at what's happened in wrestling from 2014 since?
You would think I would, honestly, but I think I'm busy. I don't know what the answer is, why I've not really thought about that.
That's good.
I thought about the first night. I thought about coming out of the Rumble and hearing a reaction maybe, or not hearing a reaction, one or the other. That's about the extent of it. And then from there, just having a whole shitload more confidence when it comes to promos and my wrestling in the ring. And then that's about the extent of what I've really thought about.
Jody Sean Jenkins, $5.
I believe. Ooh.
Jody, Shauna, when are you going to have a conversation where each of you gets your own separate YouTube account? Now, you can't tell me this is a YouTube Premium thing because they'll let you have 5 accounts on YouTube Premium. So, Jody, stop watching the yoga videos or learn to clear your watch history. And then
Can I ask a question?
Yeah.
Glenn, can I ask a question? Do we know for sure these are two people? Because Jody can be a woman's name as well.
It was
Maybe that's her middle
explained
name.
to us because remember the first time Joni Shawn Jenkins asked the question, you were like, "There's no way that woman cares this much about professional wrestling," because it was like a nerdy question about like the Steiners or something like that.
Okay.
You were like, "There's no way," and then Jody was like, "No, guys, it's a couple's account. It's cool." And then Matt and I started talking off the air. We're like, "What happened in this relationship that they have on their YouTube account?" Who got busted? What did Jody get busted doing? The channel was like,
this
"You
is
don't
totally
get
what we talked about. Jody, Shauna Jenkins, this is exactly what we did talk about. I was like, if you guys one day see Larissa Matthew Morgan on Twitter, you know I don't effed up.
Yeah, she looked at watch history and it's just like, what were you looking at? So, Jody, we kid. You're a great super chatter. You've put children through college at this point with your super chats. But it's Friday night, and we just got to get a little real. Jody Shawn Jenkins saying, I still believe Corbin does a good job of getting people to hate him, but is it just me, or has his physical appearance steadily declined?
I hate.
Come on, Matt.
I talk about their physical. Well, go ahead. Sorry.
I said you haven't called him skinny fat in a good 2 years.
He is skinny fat, and I hate saying it because I was starting to feel him. I was starting to dig his character. It sucks not having the fans there because I'm telling you, she's right. She or he, whoever which in the relationship sent us that, is right. He is the best heel. When you break it down, bare bones, he makes you hate him. Oh, but come on, Matt, it's X-Pac. He blah 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 blah. Man, I don't know. I think he's improved greatly, and it sucks not having the fans there because that would be his real crowning achievement finally, since he's improved so much of just having people throw shit at him. I think he has that much heat.
Yeah. I think he's good, but I think that let me put it this way, he can just go out there and be a douche in front of a live crowd, and he doesn't have to do much to get that heel reaction. The problem is without the crowd, and this is where they went right with Bayley. Bayley had a lot of really good one-liners, a lot of really good shtick. I don't feel like they're giving Baron Corbin a heel material.
Yeah.
So I think that's hurting him because without the crowd, you have to be that much better. It's kind of like to make the comparison, like sitcoms. You have a sitcom from a studio audience. You watch that. Broad comedy works. People laugh at dumb jokes because you're kind of conditioned to, right? Physical humor. You get a single camera comedy like Curb Your Enthusiasm. You really have to land those funny bits, those funny moments, because you're not being prompted to laugh by other people. And the piped in stuff they have, the piped in boos and cheers, don't do it. People know that's fake. I am Air wants to know what's been your favorite Bernie Sanders meme. Are you up on the Bernie memes that have been going on?
Is that a real question? It's the same one every time. Oh,
the new one.
The version of it with him. Okay, I gotcha.
Yeah.
I saw some dude
on
my Facebook today leave a comment. There was something going on in my city, right? And some of the residents were asking me a question about like a grand opening somewhere or whatever it was. And somebody left a comment in there of that he's going to pull up a chair and watch this. All right. Watching this residents go back and either yell at me or agree with me, one or the other. And the meme was a video meme of a guy walking into like a room with an umbrella and opens the umbrella and it's Bernie Sanders sitting down with his mittens. It's pretty funny. It's hilarious.
I like the one where it looks like he's doing the arm bar on someone. He's got someone like it's a UFC submission. Like that was
cool.
Yeah.
I haven't seen that.
Someone did a good job.
Okay, so help me understand this better.
Yes.
Are they making fun of him for wearing the mittens and what he was wearing? Or are they making fun of how he was sitting? Or I'm
both.
I don't get it.
It's just because he was isolated alone, like in his mask, sitting there with his mittens. People just thought it was a cute photo.
It is a cute. It's adorable. I'm gonna steal your word. It is adorable. It's cute.
Yeah, I think it's lovingly, and you have to remember. I mean, not to veer this off, but I think that same way Trump voters didn't go away. There are a lot of Bernie voters that never went away, and they're rooting for their guy still.
Yes.
So when something like this happens, it's a rallying point, and I think
Bernie voters are devout gets,
absolutely, and that's the platform. And I think that everyone likes the meme. And memes are sometimes removed from the person, but it's what the internet's having fun with this week. Jody Shawn Jenkins again, off topic. How crazy is WandaVision? WandaVision, Matt. This show is nuts. The first
So
two
even
episodes are like,
my cousin Sarah's in town from Connecticut.
yeah,
Even she talked to me about how great this is.
yeah.
I really feel out of the loop.
If you watch the first episode, it's like you're watching the Dick Van Dyke Show, but it's with Marvel people in it. And there's like all these creepy little things they're hinting at that are like kind of Twilight Zone-esque. It's pretty cool.
Okay, where do I watch this?
Disney Plus, man. Disney Plus.
Oh, we have Disney Junior.
Oh, you got to get the Disney Plus. Then you can watch The Mandalorian.
Well, okay, what was the other show? And I tried to look cool.
Yeah.
And do one of my lies, like when I lied about watching what is it called? Mandalorian, whatever the frick it's
Mandalorian.
called. Mandalorian. I try to sound cool when my cousin was talking about WandaVision by saying, "Oh yeah, and there's this other awesome show like with this green witch and this little green guy. What's that called?" Something like that. She had no idea what I was talking about. So Glenn, what was that show you were talking about?
Oh wait, which one with the?
You said there's something about a green witch and a little green dude that's from the comic books.
No, that's WandaVision. It's the Scarlet Witch, and the Vision is green.
Oh.
Yes. Matt, how are you going to get your lies straight? You like when you were a kid, did you sometimes like you didn't watch Knight Rider the night before? So you look in the TV guide and be like, oh, there was an evil Michael Knight with the mustache. Yes, I watched that last night. The evil Michael Knight was really cool.
Okay, so I'll do you one better. No, it was when somebody would call me out and say like, you don't like Beastie Boys. Go ahead, Matt. Like when Beastie Boys first came out, their very first album came out. You don't like Beastie Boys. You only know that one song. I'm like, no, I don't. Like, all right, Matt, name one other. I'm like, Run Down the Hill. Johnny's Coming for Dinner. Like, because I knew they didn't know any either. You know what I mean? Just making it up as I went and totally bombing. And it was obvious that, no, I didn't have this album.
Michael Menezes, I lost faith in humanity when Matt lied to us about watching The Mandalorian.
I'm trying to fit in with all you cool kids.
I've done it before, and here's what it is. Sometimes it's that I almost don't want to talk about it, so I just sort of give an affirmative because I have something else I want to talk about. So I've faked before that I'm familiar with something, but it's kind of, I can tell someone's in their zone, and I just want to hear. I can follow what they're saying. I can deduce, what's happening.
The fucking TV show, people.
I know, but dude, people are that way about movies. You know what I mean?
Oh, I get into them. I'm just saying, like, we're not talking about me lying about
some
cancer here, folks.
Guys your age, and like, here's the one that I've lied about because I've only seen the third of it, and I thought it was dumb, and I turned it off. People are like, dude, have you seen Boondock Saints? Like, if you say no, you're going to hear a half an hour diatribe on, oh, bro, you got to watch Boondock Saints. And they're just going to go on and on. So it's just easier sometimes to be like,
it was okay. That really wasn't. I agree with you on that. It was okay.
Yeah. So sometimes you just got to kind of move the conversation along and let the person have their platform. Don't sell me on it. Just tell me what you want to talk about. And that's fine. I'll listen to people talk about anything. Yes. Tony Starks wants to know, did you listen to the Joe Rogan podcast with The Undertaker?
Just the part that I saw on YouTube today about the headline, of course, said Rogan accuses, what's his name? Braun Strowman of using steroids. And it's like, no, he didn't. He just said it like, I don't know, kind of flippantly. Like, I don't think he really, really, truly does think he's on it because you can't. Guys, it's impossible in WWE. To be on the gas. It is impossible, unless you're older, which Braun is not. So let's say if you're much, much older, where you really do need testosterone replacement therapy, I would imagine the doctor would make an exception for that. But then my next argument to that would be that's not enough testosterone to do anything for bodybuilding. It's just enough testosterone to get the little general running, or whatever you guys call it out there in wrestling chat roomville.
I was curious, you
didn't pop for that. I just said they call their little thing the little general, and you gave me no reaction to it.
This isn't that kind of podcast, man.
Now that you made it uncomfortable, go ahead.
No, I was saying, so Blue Chew, longtime sponsor of the Wrestling Inc. podcast, that's could be doing ads on Wednesday nights because I think Justin and Alfred should get to do some Blue Chew ads for the people.
I would pay for the ad, I think, just to watch Alfred have to read it.
It's coming up. They're going to start in February. But I was looking at not now Blue Chew's different, but I was looking at the Nugenics because I see the commercials. Frank Thomas selling me on the Nugenics.
Oh, I've seen that. Yep.
Yeah, and I found out, dude, if you have high blood pressure, like
course.
you should not be taking that at all.
Of course.
So that curbed that one.
Of course. Think about what these things do.
I didn't know.
They rush blood to the area.
Well, no, but Nugenics is different because that's testosterone. Blue Chew is safe if your high blood pressure is not severe. But with Nugenics, like that's testosterone. That's much testosterone therapy. Much different. Anyhow, what we really should be talking about is Dolph Ziggler, who came out to interrupt this promo and cut a promo on the Rumble. Cesaro was out there as well, issuing an open challenge. Dolph Ziggler accepted the challenge, and Cesaro beat Dolph Ziggler in like a minute. Dolph Ziggler is one half of the SmackDown Tag Team Champions.
I know.
They took it off the Street Profits.
It's okay. It's a singles match. And it made Cesaro look great, which I'm in favor of. I was okay with this.
Reginald versus Sasha Banks. What did you think of this? Sasha getting a win over Carmella's Sommelier.
I want to know who this is. Chat room, please tell me who this guy. Where did he come from? Was he an NXT talent? Was he an indie talent? Where did they get him from? He's pretty damn good.
He's very entertaining.
He's incredibly entertaining. You know what? We used to. Who was this? Oh, I can't remember his name. Do you guys remember the little guy that came out with the cat, Ernest Miller? He was with me in OVW, and I can't remember his name for the life of me. And it's going to drive me nuts. Morris. He was hilarious. Yeah. But anyways.
Sommelier said, this was a good match. Very entertaining. I'm excited to see where they go next with Carmella versus Sasha.
Are you really excited? I listen. I like Carmella. I do. I think she's great. But I'd rather see... We just got done saying how many great talents they have there, and I feel this is a spot that's being clogged at the moment.
Well, because here's what you do, okay? Because remember, Sasha's still the SmackDown Women's Champion. You have Carmella versus Sasha, the championship matches. Let's get that done in the next week or so. You have Rhea Ripley or Bianca Belair win the Rumble, challenge Sasha, and that's going into Mania.
Okay, but this whole time, right, when Carmella came back, she could have gone up against somebody different.
I know.
It didn't have to be. You don't come back from an injury and build somebody up and then have them lose the angle.
Well, but that's the problem. There's only so many top spots. But Bayley is proving there's life after the championship. You could still be a star.
Yes.
Be relevant.
And what about Becky? Before Becky became champion, she was over like Rover.
Well, but they didn't use her nearly as much. Bayley is probably getting the best next to Charlotte.
No, Charlotte.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. Next to Charlotte, Bayley is getting the best non-championship treatment a woman perhaps has ever gotten on the main roster.
All right, I'll let you. Yeah, okay.
Consistently featured, good matches, given time. They're not putting her on main event, is what I'm saying. So, Intercontinental Championship match, Apollo Crews versus Big E, Sami Zayn on commentary. And wouldn't you know it, Sami Zayn uncuffed himself from the barrier, leapt at Big E, and caused a DQ.
Just the fact that he was cuffed to the barrier. It's so, just you having to read that to me is hilarious.
It's like, it's subversive too. Here's what's good about it. I think, Matt, not to get into it, but I think and this is kind of the brilliance of it. Regardless of your political affiliation, you can watch this and think they're making fun of the other side. And that's the brilliance of it. Yeah.
Yes. No, he is so freaking fun. He's good.
So good. And that's a testament, by the way. If you can do that, if you can literally do something and make somebody, regardless of their viewpoint, say, wow, they're really sticking it to the other guy.
It's impossible. It's literally right now, more than ever, impossible. And he's done it.
He has done it. He is so good. Of course, after he did the Hoover kick on Big E, and Yes, he ranted about how justice was served. Uh, So Roman Reigns had supposedly left the arena. Kevin Owens not there. Pre-recorded video from Owens saying couldn't enter the building because Reigns pulled some strings to keep him out. Like, okay, we know he's showing up.
Yeah.
Street Profits showed up with a fruit basket for Sonya Deville. They got to get the titles back on these guys.
Okay, why do you say that? Because you think they need them? Or
No.
do you say that because they're so good, they're the best, and the best should be your tag team champions?
Okay, so if you're not going to give them worthy competition, they should be the champs. If you're going to make tags cross-brand, and we're going to have New Day versus the Street Profits, if we're going to have like real entertaining matches, if the Usos were back, it doesn't matter who's champ because all those teams are superstars.
It's true.
But I'm sorry, Rude and Ziggler? No.
I know. I hate yeah.
And it's they shouldn't have put, I mean, at least Bobby's getting TV time.
It sucks. I mean, again, he was fine as Glorious Bobby Roode from NXT. But
so over with that.
They always do. Yeah, exactly.
So the Bailey Obstacle Course Challenge with Chad Gable. And then Otis showed up. So Bailey runs obstacle course, has to carry Chad Gable, who's like what, maybe like $105 in terms of weight. And then Bianca Belair comes out and it's Otis. My wife shouts out, "Kick him in the dick," when Otis showed up.
What?
Yeah, just when Otis when he showed up doing the like it was just like, again, Otis, why do you put yourself in this position? I hope you're being paid well to demean yourself.
Yeah, me too. But this was I'll be honest, this was entertaining.
Bianca carrying Otis is the most impressive way Otis has been used since they broke him up.
I mean, I was super impressed by it. Holy mackerel, yes. And guys, give my wife props very quickly. My wife legit could put me on her back in a piggyback position and squat me up and down 10 times. I swear to God. She's strong as hell on her legs. But this was impressive as hell. Otis is a big boy. But this was so good. Like, I was entertained by this. I'm normally not entertained by like grab ass segments like this. I'm not. Where they play, when grab asses, when the dog's chasing its tail over and over and over and over again. Like, I'm not entertained by that crap normally. But tonight I was. Bailey is, good Lord. Did you see her on the Steve Austin podcast? Y'all need to see that.
I heard it was good.
Please watch it, Glenn. You will freaking love it. So good.
NYC Demon Diva saying Otis used to carry Mandy around. Now he got carried around. But it's not good for Otis, though. Like, Otis shouldn't be the prop. Like, hey, Otis is so fat. Let's see who can lift him up. Like, that's not probably the best way. That's not what the young man dreams of in terms of making it to the WWE.
It's so funny. What about Chad Gable? Do you think that did anything at all to hurt him in a way?
I think Chad Gable, I think the Shorty G thing hurt him so much. Like, both of these guys are being used in a weird. I mean, that's the thing. When they decided to literally make Chad Gable the Bud Bundy of WWE, I think that really hurt his credibility.
Yeah, and the dude's a legit athlete. That's what's so crazy about it.
Holden Caulfield saying Otis is 24/7 title bound. Yeah.
Yikes.
Brian raised $5. Reginald is Akeem Young from NXT. So
thank you very much. I don't remember who Akeem Young was on NXT though. No. Dang it.
But no, he's doing a great job. But no, I love this tonight. Bianca absolutely came across once again like a superstar. And of course, Bailey got mad, beat up Bianca after this. Shocker.
Yeah.
Dominic Mysterio assured his father he's got this tonight in this match against King Baron Corbin, which means that Dominic Mysterio lost. Handily.
Yes.
This was Dominic's first match in months.
Yeah. I got nothing for you. I mean, I don't know what I'm supposed to say about this.
Yeah, I know.
I could not have cared any less about this. And I love Ray. He's actually a legit friend of mine, right? That's somebody that I talk to probably if something big happens in my life, like I we'll talk, right?
Mhm.
But so I feel like such a heel, like healing on his kid, right? I remember when he was just a freaking like 4-year-old, 5-year-old. And so I feel like such a dick, but I don't, just like I don't care about Baron Corbin, I don't care about watching Dominic Mysterio one-on-one with somebody. It depends on what he's doing, but this really did nothing for me.
I care about Dominic. I think, though, that the stuff with Murphy and Ray's daughter and Seth really halted Dominic's momentum. Dominic debuted at SummerSlam, had some great matches.
But can you imagine that though? Like seriously, like one of your friend's kids.
Yeah.
And like you've got to like judge his match and like say like think about it. I feel like such a douche right now, but I'm not into it. I don't know why. I'm just not.
Is this your thought? Like when you go to, parenting functions and you see the other kids and you think, my kid, I understand that I'm going to sit through this and I'm going to be proud because it's my child, but I'm looking at these other kids. These are medium talents at best.
No, because those are kids. We're talking about when they're growing up, obviously. I don't know. I don't know what it is. Like I was entertained a little bit the first time that he and his dad tagged together. I was interested when he had him come in to help him with Brock Lesnar. Thought that was well done, very well done by Dominic. I'd argue that's what helped get him hired. But that's really it.
Yeah. No, I agree. Jason McKay, $10. You guys like the idea of bringing back the European title for the women's division or maybe Queen of the Ring? I'm all for women's pay-per-view. How many would you give them a year? Queen of the Ring would be fantastic. Matt, your thoughts?
Queen of the Ring would be dope, but so would the European Championship. They do need another title.
Yeah.
And okay, it's all formulating. We can't be the only ones like thinking this way, obviously. Someone in WWE has to be already thinking about this because this makes great sense. I love that idea of a secondary title. And yes, more than one pay-per-view, obviously. Maybe you do 4 so you don't water them down. So you don't water them down.
Yeah. Queen of the Ring would be a great pay-per-view. And just do the tournament all in one night.
Yeah. Yep.
Natalie, $10. Thank you. I heard Justin on the pod talking about Ricochet and his promos. I disagree. Go watch him New Japan and Independence cutting promos. WWE is giving him the wrong material, and anyone would lose their confidence.
Yeah, confidence is a big part, and that's what I brought up if you watched the conversation we had with Justin when he was talking about his promos. And I said that's what happens when you start to get your promos cut, and you get less and less time to do it, and they overly script you. But you got to overcome it eventually, to be fair. But it's hard. It ain't easy. And I don't think Ricochet's promos were – I'm his biggest fan on this podcast, I'll argue. But he should be better in his promos than where he's at right now. And that's not on him. That's on them not giving him the opportunities. Because, again, that is where your confidence gets brought up from, is more and more opportunities. Like John Cena got more and more and more and more and more and more, So, of course, he was going to be awesome because he got all his flub-ups out of the way very early on, where he could do no wrong on a microphone after a while because you're that confident out there. Yeah.
I'll tell you, man, it's like when
AJ, I'm so sorry. AJ, real quick. My example was AJ, Glenn, that I used. AJ Styles promos were another good friend, but rotten. They weren't great. He wasn't a good promo in TNA. Are you kidding me? And everyone thought that would always be his weakness. If he ever went to WWE, he'll be a great wrestler, but can't cut a promo. Well, look at him now. And how did he get there? WWE kept force-feeding him microphones. More time, to where he improved. Daniel Bryan was not a great promo on the indies. No, he was not. Sometimes he'd get very into it, very emotional about stuff with, guy from the UK who had to retire early because of
Barrett?
Hepatitis.
I don't know.
Come on, he wrestled in TNA as Desmond Wolfe.
He's now. All
right, you all know him. Who cares? Nigel McGuinness, CM Punk. There were some promos that would get Daniel Bryan a little bit spurred up at Ring of Honor, but they weren't world beater promos like they are now. So again, it goes to show you, you can't just write somebody off because they're great in the ring talent wrestling wise and always branded as, well, they can't talk, so they'll never draw money. AJ proved that wrong. Daniel Bryan proved that wrong. And others have proved that wrong because WWE kept feeding them microphones over and over and over, week after week after week, to where they improved. And they have not done the same with Ricochet. And that's not fair.
I think that it's because the man being Vince McMahon and creative is trying to use these talents the way they think they should be used. I think it's kind of like music. You have independent
Vince, and he sees them the same way. He sees Ricochet, AJ, Daniel Bryan in that same box, I promise.
But his vision of them is different. Let me give you an example. I was going to say, like, Green Day was an independent punk band. They signed to a major label, and they took what they did to the next level. It worked great. I think AJ Styles is an example like that, where there was a synergy with what Vince saw, what AJ brought to the table, and they combined their success, and it worked. You think of, like, Ricochet. Remember when John Mellencamp started out as Johnny Cougar, and then John Cougar Mellencamp? Like, the record label tried to make him something he wasn't. It didn't fit him. Ultimately, he walked away from it, reinvented himself. Now, he got lucky. He succeeded. There are a lot of other independent bands that signed major labels. You never heard from them again because, like, nobody wanted to buy their cleaned up sound. That was what the man thought they should sound like.
But coming into that company, to Vince McMahon on day one, for these people coming to that company, Daniel Bryan, AJ Styles, Ricochet were in the same exact box. I promise you. Vince had no clue who the fuck any of them were, and that's a shoot because he doesn't watch the competition. He really legit does. Everyone else there does. He does not.
Do you think Ricochet's moveset and his
is awesome,
stunning good looks,
movie star good looks?
But do you think that hurt him? Because, like, when he came up, we were like, this guy could be the face of the company. This guy could be the next Cena, Rock, Hogan. Do you think that? Okay, but here's the thing. Do you think that because he looks so good, his moves are so incredible, they were like, well, all we got to do is put that out there and the promos will write themselves and it'll be fine. They didn't put enough emphasis on his character or his promos.
And real quick, here's why I'll use my AJ example, because AJ was supposed to be all flash as well. He was supposed to be all moves. The innovator of offense is AJ Styles. He's the most steeled upon wrestler of all time, by the way. Legit. When he was on the Indies and they have the best AJ Styles tapes, that all wrestlers were sharing that with one another and stealing from AJ over the years. So AJ, more than any other wrestler, was known as the spot guy, was known as the athletic guy that invented different stuff. So he, just like Ricochet, has that flashy offense. Now, I will not say he's got the movie star good looks that Ricochet has, but the moveset, as far as being super athletic and forward thinking, yes, he does. Or yes, he did coming in. Again, you got to give him an opportunity. That's all. Just give him that opportunity, because he is not, there isn't somebody else out there like him. Yes, there's guys that can do high spots. I'll argue not with the grace that Ricochet has in the air when he does what he does. His stuff just, to me, looks different when he does it than anyone else.
Yeah. I'm telling you, with AJ, I think AJ had to work harder coming in.
Yeah.
With the Billy Ray Cyrus look circa 2016. I think AJ had to work a little harder with his promos to be taken seriously. Ricochet, I think they thought was going to be more of a layup.
Maybe. I don't know. I don't know what to say. I just know he doesn't get a lot of microphone time in the middle of the ring when fans were there. If you notice, Ricochet's promos were all backstage. Now, as a wrestler, you want to cut the promos in front of fans because you feed off their energy.
Yeah. Shooter McGavin, 5 pounds, saying Vince could buy a yacht and call it Mrs. Good Shit Pal. On Cesaro section shirts alone, why does he refuse to see money in the guy? I think it's the same thing. I think Cesaro, very attractive man, very charismatic, one of the probably the best all-around wrestler working certainly in WWE, if not all of wrestling today. But I think he opens his mouth and Vince is like, yeah, people don't want to hear this. The accent's
I'm going with Kenny Omega. I'm going with Kenny Omega right now.
I said WWE, if not wrestling. But yes, I think very well regarded. But I'm telling you, like, people get stereotypes. I don't mean that in the traditional sense. I mean that your boss sees you one way, and that's how they're going to treat you and hold you down.
And that's why we won't emotionally invest in him, because we know the carpet's going to be yanked again. Yeah.
Yeah. Our chat room very divided on Ricochet's looks.
They're saying he's ugly?
No, there's just some people. Well, I've seen more of the women that are saying that he looks like a movie star and he's very attractive.
Yes. Guys, get over yourselves. He is. Just admit it. Just say he is and move on.
Yes, they're threatened by
It's
his.
It's much faster. It's easier.
Paul Heyman versus Adam Pearce did not happen. Man, I was hoping this was going to happen.
I bet you thought this was going to happen.
But I want you to know, Paul Heyman tripped, card subject to change. He used Adam Pearce's logic back on him, and instead Roman Reigns came out, beat the crap out of Adam Pearce. Then Kevin Owens came out, beat the crap out of Roman. We went off the air with Owens standing over Reigns, yelling at him. So,
about time. We should have gotten this, Glenn, maybe a month and a half ago. The outshot of KO standing over a prone Roman. You know what I mean? Standing tall.
This feud has gone on way too long.
Okay, so I agreed with that when we first said it, which means this really has gone on too long if we've said it previously. But then when they had that, was it Hell in the Cell?
I don't know. Maybe. Was it?
They had a cage match. I don't know. I think it was a cage match. I was really impressed with that cage match. And I had thought at that point they already overstayed their welcome. But then they blew me away with that match. So I don't know. I think I'm being too nice here. We got to start being more honest with the Roman stuff because we want it to succeed. It has been so successful. He's done his best work. This is on the damn company now already. That's as creative as you can get for your top star. You're giving him friggin' Adam Pearce?
Yeah.
What the hell?
We got to get a switch. I hope it's Daniel Bryan. I think Daniel Bryan is a very good shot at winning the men's Rumble, challenging Roman.
It is, but then we got to wait forever.
Yeah, but Daniel Bryan is a great promo, huge underdog. They could do some good stuff. Roman could tear him a new one on those promos.
Can we get 3? When's WrestleMania?
Like 3 months from now, beginning of August.
Beginning of August? August?
Oh, no, April. Sorry, 2 months from now. 2 months from now, because we're almost in February.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, it would be great for Roman to be able to work a babyface DB. Like, that's the best situation he can get, honestly, other than obviously Rock. But
we can get some good tag matches with KO and Daniel Bryan versus Roman and Jay.
Do you know what I really would have liked to have seen? Heel Roman being able to do this versus Cena. Cena all smug, thinking he's got the fans like he did that one time when he got Roman stuttering out there and messing up his words. I'd like to see him have to come out there and Roman just beat the snot out of him verbally on that mic. Just once.
Well, I don't rule it out. Cena came back last year to put Bray over. I think Cena could come to the Rumble. And then
Cena thought he was shooting from the hip that night and being cute and, trying to big dog the big dog. I didn't like that. I didn't like it.
Yeah. There's a couple different ways they could go with it. But no, I think that's a good call. That is quite possible. So on that note, Matt, your final grade for tonight?
1 to 10 or letter grades? 1 to 10, right? Let's do fans. You already know. You're probably saying in the chat room right now what I'm going to say. Matt's going to say 7 again. Yes, 7.
There you have it, folks.
Why just me? What's yours?
Sure. 7. 7's good. I can get down with a 7.
Not me.
Well, people care about your opinion about that, you know?
They don't.
People doesn't want, what's Glenn's grade? This isn't Siskel and Ebert. WWE isn't putting our thumb rating on the posters, you know? Okay, on that note, folks, let's wrap it up for tonight. Monday night, Matt Morgan and I are going to come here. We're going to do the Wrestling Inc. podcast talking about Raw. After, we're going on stereo to do a live chat. So pay attention to our social media. We'll post the link Monday ahead of time. Want you all to participate. You can ask questions for free with audio. Coming on as an official sponsor of Wrestling Inc. You can check out last week's stereo, the after show, as it were. If you go to bit.ly/aftershow118, he's at BP Matt Morgan and Matt Glenn Rubenstein, and we'll catch you back here on Monday on the Wrestling Inc. podcast. Take care.
Bye, guys.